I am Sal Khan and thank you for watching Ashiana Style Cooking, which means home style cooking. And today I'm going to start my show with Tina JAYROE from Medford.
Thank
Welcome,
you.
Tina. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Sal. Thanks for having me
And
back.
you are going to make a dish today.
Pizza, deep dish pizza.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why don't you take over
Okay.
and introduce the ingredients. I'll
Okay.
go back the camera.
Thank you. Thanks
You're
very
welcome.
much, Sal, for having me. And I'm going to use my iron skillet recipe, which I thoroughly enjoy, and a lot of my family does as well. I love my iron skillet, and I have a whole set, and I really recommend them, especially if you're low in iron and you're vegetarian, you need extra iron in your meal. They're not hard to take care of. They're just a little different. They're very cheap, inexpensive, and I think they're better than most of the very expensive pots and pans out there. And my recipes just come out delicious in these. This is my favorite. Even if you only can buy one, I would buy a very small one to maybe cook an egg or two, and this large one I make cornbread, and today a deep dish pizza. And all you have to do is every once in a while, if you see a little rust, put some oil on it, bake it in an oven. The directions are actually right on the back of the pan, so you never have to pull out any old manuals. And then you just throw it in the oven for an hour, set your timer and take it out, and it's all seasoned and it'll last you maybe 6 months, depending on how much you use it before you have to season it again. And one thing I like about it is a non-stick surface after you've used it for many, many years or even a couple of years. It gets darker and it develops a film, and it's not hard to wash at all. I love these things, and I really recommend you purchase one or two. So I'm going to make a deep dish pizza in this, and for the purpose of time, I have a store-bought pizza dough for 99 cents. So, I mean, you go through all the trouble to make your own homemade dough, but for 99 cents, this comes out pretty fresh, pretty well, and you'll see the results at the end. And what I do is I take some olive oil, just a little, because I don't like my recipes to be super greasy. So just enough so it doesn't dry out. Just basically you want to coat the dough, and it's a very slimy recipe. You get it all over the dough, both sides, just a coating. And I use, of course, extra virgin olive oil just for the flavor and the taste. And I also, after you buy the dough out of the store, I would let it get to room temperature. First of all, it helps it to mold better and stretch better. And my hands get freezing when it comes out of that freezer. I can't stand holding cold dough. I have to rinse them under warm water if I start working with cold dough. And that's not too bad. With the pizza, my deep dish pizza, it doesn't have to be perfectly round. I just sort of form it into the iron skillet shape. So I'm going to take the dough and put it in here now. Put it in the back. And then I bring the dough, and I take a few minutes to really place it well in here and try to bring it up over the edges, because a deep dish pizza really should have thick crust, really thick, solid crust. And it tends to slip off the sides, so I spend a few minutes patting it into shape, and the results are worth it. My favorite deep dish pizza, the ingredients that really go well with a deep dish pizza, this particular type, are, my favorite is Hawaiian pizza, but I didn't bring ham and pineapple today. I brought mushrooms and onions and some pepperoni. But really, I usually use whatever's in the fridge, leftovers, vegetables, ham, sausage, whatever you have around, and it's a perfect way to get rid of leftovers. Still molding a little bit, and what I do now, the oven has been preheated to 375. Deep dish pizza takes a very long time to cook. It's very easy to prepare, doesn't take long, but the cooking time is split into two parts for me anyway. And what I do is I pre-cook this dough in here for 35 minutes on 375. Then I take it out, put tomato sauce and cheese and my topping, and then I cook it for about another 35 minutes. Because if you just put the toppings on the dough wouldn't be cooked enough, and it'd be sort of soggy, and don't like that. So I'm going to throw it in Sal's oven right now for 35 minutes. There you go. It'll rise quite a bit and it looks beautiful, but we'll see that in about 35 minutes. Okay, so your dough for your pizza comes out like this. So now I put the topping on. This is about 30 minutes later, 35 minutes later. And I take my time. It's not, you don't have to rush too much, but you don't want to wait too long. You want to keep that dough cooking. And I have some tomato sauce. And I just top it like any pizza joint would. Sal has the fastest cooking oven in the West. I don't even know if I got this in time. At my house it takes, wow, a long time. Okay. And I put a lot on. Coat it as much to the end as possible because this really is a thick dough. And then I put my cheese. Put it as close to the edge as possible because the dough is really thick and you don't, it's really a big chunk of bread at the end. And I forgot to mention that I usually put a little layer of cornmeal underneath the pizza dough in the iron skillet just so it comes up nicer. Feels like a professionally cooked pizza. Cut up a little more cheese. This is a really simple dish. And I love it with a salad because it's very thick and heavy. And then you just have a light salad on the side. And then I'll just throw these canned mushrooms because I like canned mushrooms on my pizza more than fresh, but I like fresh mushrooms in calzone. And I don't know if you wanted to throw a little bit of pepperoni on here, but I guess I'll just leave it with mushrooms. And then it goes back in for probably maybe in Sal's kitchen 5 more minutes. In my house it would go for another 35. So I'll put it in for just a few minutes so the cheese will melt, the dough finishes cooking, and the mushrooms get a little warm. Sal, your oven is so hot. Okay, we're back and my recipe's done. We're gonna pull out the mushroom pizza out of Sal's awesome, incredible, fastest cooking oven I've ever seen. And this is a restaurant quality oven. I can't believe it. No wonder they can cook up your meal so fast in a restaurant. Here's my mushroom pizza in my iron skillet. And really, you scoop it out, cut it up, and this iron skillet is very easy to clean. You just wipe. You can't scrub. Don't scrub your skillet because then you'll take off the surface oil, which is what is used for the non-stick surface. So there you go, your mushroom pizza. Manja manj.
Thanks for having me, Sal. I can't wait to come back. Excellent.
You're welcome, Tina.